Well, and I will say, like, since we're on the topic, I mean, one, and it's not, there's still a long way to go, but, in Pasadena, because so many people showed up and because the public was just so loud. I mean, I was, I mean, this is my home. This is where I live, and I've been here. I've actually lived in Pasadena longer than I've lived anywhere else in my adult life. Because I've been a pretty nomadic dude most of my adult life, but I've been here a little bit now. And, it was really upsetting when it happened. I mean, the community was incredibly upset. And I will say one thing that, gave me a little bit of hope was that, the city has really shown up since. There were so many comments submitted by the public. They didn't let us comment virtually. They didn't have an open virtual comment session. They should have, but they didn't do that. You had to write it, and then they would read some of them or most of them. But there were so many comments. It took about like 4 or 5 hours to get through all of them because so many people were just demanding civilian oversight of police. And there was, of course, the protest. I went to that. We marched through Old Town, with exception to one guy in a truck who decided to drive at the protesters. It was pretty, it was very peaceful, and most of the community was applauding as we would go by, and some people even dropped what they were doing and joined us. And then the city council did unanimously pass a civilian oversight
really
policy. Yeah. There's still a long way to go because there are still some questions as to how easy it will be to kind of get the wrong actors involved with that. How easy, like they're trying to have these, they're still working out the specifications of, okay, well, what exactly does this board consist of? And how do we avoid conflicts of interest? i.e., are we making sure that no one that has any past involvement with law enforcement, we're making sure they're not part of it. I think at first they wanted it to be like an internal thing that reported to the city. And they're like, that's not good enough. It needs to be an outside members of the community. They are involving groups like the ACLU and I believe Black Lives Matter as well are going to, be able to have some input on this as well as get some of the civilians. I think they're looking for 11 to 13 civilian oversight members. So it's a first step and it's a good first step, but it's, it's still very much a first step. There's a long way to go, but it's uplifting that people want to move in this direction. So.
No, you're right. It is. And that's what people have to do. So I want to put up this here, especially if you live in Kenosha or Wisconsin. But if you live in the city of Kenosha, the city attorney's number is 262-653-4170. The Kenosha Mayor and City Administrator, 262-653-4000. The Wisconsin Department of Justice. And again, if you're calling from outside of the state, that's great. But it really counts if you're like, I'm a registered voter in the state of Wisconsin or in Kenosha. Like, I'm a registered voter. I'm a taxpayer. And this is what I'm demanding.
Mm-hmm.
The Wisconsin Department of Justice, 608-266-1221. And the non-emergency line is 262-656-1234. So I'll leave these numbers up here. This is just like, and then people just like, oh, why are they burning down buildings? Oh, boo-hoo on your fucking buildings. I don't want anyone's a home to get burned down. I'm sorry if I don't want to have somebody's home to get burned down. And if their business gets burned down, I don't want to see that happen. But a federal building or cop car gets burned, and none of those things are as bad as shooting a guy in the back 7 times.
No.
Would have used non-lethal force. I'm just so fucking tired of that shit. Oh man, they're smashing stuff. Yeah, they murdered a guy. Someone was murdered in cold blood. Just murdered. Like, it's just insane. So,
well, it's like that meme says. Like you got to flip it when you're saying, oh, it's terrible that police are shooting unarmed black people, but you shouldn't go. People shouldn't mess with buildings and stuff like that. No. Flip that. No, it sucks that buildings are getting, but we need to stop shooting. Police need to stop shooting people. That's the problem.
buildings getting burned, stop shooting unarmed black people.
Yeah. Yeah. How about we do that? Like, yeah, that sucks. That building got burned. But yeah, that means it's time to stop. It's time to stop. It's been time. There was never a time for it. It was always horrible. But
and show me one video where an unarmed billionaire got shot or beaten or got somebody put their knee on his neck, or show me that. Like, it's so disgusting. So call these numbers: Kenosha City Attorney 262-653-4170, the mayor 262-653-4000, the Wisconsin DOJ 608-266-1221, Kenosha non-emergency line 262-656-1234. And calling up and saying, F you jackasses. I know you probably want to do that emotionally, but I'd say like focus it and be constructive and be like, we want this. We want civilian oversight. We want to defund. They don't get this guy better be charged and sentenced. Right now he's on administrative leave. Hey everyone, great ways to support the show are go to patreon.com/Graham Elwood, where you get bonus content for as little as $2 a month, or rockfin.com/Graham Elwood, a blockchain cryptocurrency platform. That's the future. Also, GrahamElwood.com, where all my merchandise is on sale and ships exclusively with the United States Post Office. Like my Vigilante Volume 2, The Dark Knight. We only made 50 of them. They're going fast. Go to GrahamElwood.com to support the show. I'm on Venmo and PayPal, P.O. Box, all of that, GrahamElwood.com.